Hello and thanks for joining the first edition of Journalist Hangout this week. I'm Ayodele Ozubaku. Today on the program, JNI demands that heads must roll over Dapchi as statistics show Boko Haram killed 967 people in 2017, 57 more than 2016. I'll be hanging out with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Mayor Akipelu. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Welcome back to your award-winning, groundbreaking program of the year. And we have another one here. Babajide Kolade Otitoju has just been given the Leadership Award of the Most Outstanding Leadership Award as the Most Outstanding Articulate Political Analyst for the year 2017. This is by the Asiwaju Frontliners, and Mr. Doyin Johnson actually last week presented that award. Babajide, congratulations. So and like 20
congratulations.
Like 2017, 2018, because we started this program ahead of 2015 election. It was called Countdown to Election 2015 before it changed to Journalist Hangout. And after 1 year, after the 2015-2016 election, people stuck with this program, and awards and a lot of things has been coming our way. And there was the one we had last time. We couldn't even attend. That's the nature of it. We can't count the number of awards coming.
Well, we give God the glory. It shows that people out there appreciate what we are doing. And it shows that we are doing something right. If we are not doing it right, we won't be recognized. So we can only assure Nigerians that this is just the beginning. Many people look forward to us. The elections are coming.
Yes, so
they expect us to analyze
set agenda,
politicians and political parties dispassionately, and we will not fail to do that. This is what we've always done. Sometimes even many Nigerians will not believe what we are saying. When we said the fuel scarcity was caused by supply disequilibrium, many people did not believe. Today, the NNPC is telling us that the demand for petrol has gone up to 50
million liters.
Meanwhile, they were working on 30 million.
The highest importers in the world. Mayor, I'm sure you would have been getting feedback about.
Yes, I want to affirm that you are doing what you are doing properly. So I'm not surprised that you are getting awards. Awards is nice because it's a recognition of what we are doing. It is important for us, especially in these times that we are going through, that we don't have values again, or we are losing our values. It is important for us to seek out Nigerians who excel in whatever they do and acknowledge what they are doing so that they can serve as encouragement and for others, and to inspire, especially our youth, who today now just wants to drink tramadol and Benelli with codeine and or do Yahoo and all that. Honestly, so they can see that hard work pays, and there are some people, when they do what they are doing diligently, people will appreciate it.
I want to thank you. We want to thank Mr. Doyin Johnson, the DG of our Asiwaju Frontliners. Thank you for that award. Now, going to the business now. An Italian activist, Giuseppe Mazzini, once said, "Slumber not in the tents of your father, for the world is advancing. But sadly, advancement may soon leave the Northeast behind with the spate of kidnapping of female students from government-owned schools. It is now 15 days since more than 110 schoolgirls were abducted from Government Girls Science and Technology College, Dapchi, Yobe State, and a Muslim group, the Jamaatul Nasrul Islam, is worried that the kidnap could frustrate girl-child education in northern Nigeria despite efforts to encourage enrollment. The group called on the northern governors to wake up from their slumber. This wake-up is also for the military, as statistics show that Boko Haram is not a spent force, contrary to what we're meant to understand, that at least 967 people have been killed in 150 attacks in Nigeria. Just get that figure. Cameroon, Chad, and Niger Republic in 2007. This figure is up from the 2016 data, which showed that 910 deaths were reported in 127 attack. You can see that there's like a kind of surge and increase there. So, Babajide, let's go to GNI. GNI is saying that heads should roll on this abduction of Dapchi girls. Now, it's like, it's the other side of the divide. When the People's Democratic Party, when they were controlling the central government, as at that time the Chibok thing happened, and one of the biggest albatross of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the former president, was the abduction of Chibok girls. And that became a big issue in the 2015 campaign. And I can say that the handling of that particular issue is almost what contributed to the downfall of that government.
Yes.
And how this government has fared so far. 15 days after, GNI is saying, ordinarily, it's not tenable. Head should roll.
Yes, I think that we were very careless. In fact, I would say Nigeria as a country was irresponsible in allowing this to happen. And you will see that the international community appears to have just left us alone.
I'm telling you, it's not getting...
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
They now see us as a thoroughly unserious nation. Everyone got involved when this one happened.
When
You know, Obama's wife, when Chibok happened,
Yes.
Obama's wife,
Everybody,
leaders,
celebrities
they were
across the world.
concerned.
Yeah.
The president of Uganda.
Yes.
I remember at that time. But now, how can a country allow this to happen again? How can you allow it to happen again? That you know that some parts of Nigeria, Boko Haram is still active. In Yobe State, Boko Haram attacked military bases 4 times in 1 year. We are not talking about attacking just markets, because that is what we tell ourselves that, oh, they now attack soft targets. Which soft targets now?
Decimated.
People who are going to attack soldiers in their barracks, you are telling us that it is soft targets that they can attack. In 1 year, 4 attacks in Yobe State, including Sasawa, where they slaughtered 18 soldiers. We knew all of that.
Soldiers.
We knew all of that, and we still allowed a school, a female school, guest-only school. We allowed that school to continue to run. We didn't think that it made sense to relocate them to the state capital. That is better secure. I mean, we did a massive disservice to those children. And it pains me. And it's all down to the lies that we continue to tell ourselves that we have defeated the enemy. Because when you go now, you go to some parts of this country, you see that the security measures that we put in place some years back, we've relaxed them. You go to Abuja now, you are driving from the airport straight into the town. Nobody checks you anymore. So if it was a terrorist driving through the road, that's the same way it would not be checked. But because the terrorists have changed tactics, they've chosen not to harass Abuja anymore. They've chosen not to harass people in Kano anymore. They've chosen not to go to Kaduna to kill people anymore. We deceive ourselves that, oh, it is our achievement.
Or intelligence gathering, that we stepped it up.
Now that the Northeast, Maiduguri, my Borno State, Adamawa and Yobe, where they are still present, since they have done us the honor of leaving Abuja and co, why don't we now defend what we have left? That corner of the country where they are left, why don't we defend that area, ensure that we do not give them any room to operate? We left that school. Honestly, I don't know. Nigerians are very nice people. Elsewhere, and we also lied. We put a lie out there that those girls had been rescued. Only for the governor to go to the town and say, sorry, none of your children have been rescued. I praise the people of Dapchi. Yes, they stoned the governor. But in other places, if it was in the Arab world, they would have done worse things to that governor. They stoned him, they destroyed some government vehicles. Elsewhere, they could have done worse things. So our people are calm. But government needs to do much more for the people, do much more to secure our people. We can't continue to let Boko Haram run away with our guests. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's
very
embarrassing.
Okay,
it's a personal shame that I feel.
Yeah. Mayor, now, what we are doing, how could we have, done this better? Now, so far, are you impressed with those measures? This government is saying that, oh, fine, that the time, our response rates and everything is different. You can't compare this to the last administration that we actually responded on time, that everything we are putting into it. At the point in time, the Air Force said they were going to do 100 sorties and people mistook it as saying 100 aircraft. I don't even know if we have combined. If we have 50.
We don't have 50.
We combine.
Let me start by saying that, yes, there seems to be a little bit of difference in terms of government's reaction to the Dapchi girls than the Chibok girls, yes. But I'm not impressed with what the government have done, and I will tell you why. If now we've embarrassed ourselves, I don't know why we don't have any sense of shame. The president should have been embarrassed, the army chief should have been embarrassed, the commander in the theater of war should have been embarrassed, because like Wajide said, we should not have allowed this to happen again. That we could allow it to happen again shows that we are not a serious nation. And we are not taking security in that axis seriously. And then the way, I said it earlier that without being a commander, whoever is in charge of prosecuting that war made a fundamental error. Because you know that this is the entire North is theater of war. And you don't have a security blanket around it. Because for somebody to be able to move 110 girls out of a big state like Yobe, is an indictment on Nigerian military. It shows that tactically, they don't even know what they are doing. But that does not change the fact that they've done well. A lot of our soldiers have done well in the battle against terrorism because terrorism is not existing. But I think part of the problem is that the Nigerian military is so eager to be praised, to claim victory, which is naive. It's unbelievable that a military in the 21st century will make that kind of mistake, because everybody knows that you can win several battles. Does not mean you have won the war. Battles is different from the entire war in itself. And in other climes where terrorism works, you don't defeat them easily because there's no defined battleground. It's a mobile war, so people can move from one place to the other. They can cool down, they cool off for some time, and then reorganize and come back. And because of what has happened to ISIS, because ISIS have lost the caliphate, the funding that Boko Haram was getting from ISIS naturally will have reduced. So there's need for these people to get to raise money for themselves. So you will know that if you put 900 girls in one remote school, they are a target for people to kidnap them so that they can collect ransom. It's not rocket science. So yes, okay, it took them about a week to accept that, okay, 110 girls, they'll be able to give us the names and the classes of those girls. So it's an improvement, they accepted it. But my own problem is that in terms of empathy, the government has not shown enough empathy. Because I think, and particularly, I don't know, maybe those who advise the president, it's either they're scared of him or they don't know their job. But I believe that they're scared of him, or they'll advise him, he doesn't accept the advice, because it is unbelievable that where you are still talking about the kidnap of 110 girls, Mr. President will go for a social function. I don't think that is right. It does not show enough empathy towards these girls. So it's just a part of the thing that's one of the reasons I said, yes, the reaction time is faster, but they have not shown enough empathy. It's like, yes, it happened.
Nothing has really changed.
Yes, we are working towards it. We'll try to see how we can solve it. But they are not bothered enough. Because if you are bothered, it will be a national disaster. If it is a national disaster that the president claimed, then the president will naturally say, even if it has been scheduled, that look, I can't come to that place. Sure. Because he has not been to Dapchi.
Jide, how could we have allowed this to happen? Because I want to sense that from what you've said, in Yobe, in Adamawa, and in Maiduguri, there are still some schools that maybe girls' schools within that troubled region, northeast, as in that part, those 3 states, there might still be some girls' schools now. And we are not going to wait for another, abduction to happen and everything. But how could we have avoided this episode?
That by simply relocating those girls to other schools. Last week I talked about what happened in Gombe when this governor of Gombe State, Dankwabo, relocated the girls, the students of the government girls secondary school, Malala, to the state capital because the army led by one Colonel Coyote at that time of the 301 division, gave the information that Boko Haram was going to storm that school. And Dankwabo took the decision to relocate them. They worked throughout the night. It was around 4:30 a.m. that they finished relocating.
Acted on intelligence.
They acted. There are people in Nigeria who deceive themselves that nothing good can come out of the PDP. I'm not one of those people. I believe that there are many good people in PDP. There are good governors in PDP. There are good individuals in PDP. And Dankwabo showed leadership on that occasion. He showed leadership that recommends him to bigger office by that decision that he took. They mobilized all the Gombe lines and they went straight to that school. They told those children, don't take anything.
Just come out.
Just come out. They took them. They began lifting them from like 9 p.m. and by 4:30 a.m. they were through. Today that school remains shut because at that time Boko Haram was making some inroads into Gombe. You find towns like Nafada, even Bajoga, they were going to strike there. Remember they went to Ashaka. They wanted to steal explosives at the Ashaka cement. Okay. They went there, So they took the right decision. That is what I had expected, the governor of Yobe to do. But because we continue to think, the enemy has been defeated. And occasionally you see these people, areas where you think are safe, they will go there, they will go and strike. The enemy has shown us that it remains unpredictable. You have seen clearly now that there were more attacks in 2017 than 2016. So in my view, that is not consistent with the character of an enemy that has been defeated. If there were more attacks in 2017 than 2016,
it's not declining.
Yes.
And more casualties.
And when we say, they've been
technically defeated.
They've been chased out of all the local governments that they used to control. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Because right now what is happening is local government headquarters in Borno State have been taken from Boko Haram. But the hinterland, they control. You see, the thing is, when I say it, it seems that Jide is always saying this, but I will continue to say because I owe it to my God to say the truth. If I'm lying, he will punish me. It is the truth. During the town hall meeting that was held recently, the senator representing Borno North, Abubakar Kyari, he said, my people can't travel home. Many emirs in Borno State have relocated to the state capital. They can't govern their towns. That is the thing. They can't govern their towns.
Most of these things are not reported.
Those highways, no, they are not.
They're not
many
reported.
of the attacks are not even reported. Many are not reported. Some of it, you see it even as journalists, you just, let's ignore this, so that it doesn't appear that, okay, the enemy is being encouraged. But we are not doing ourselves any good to not admit that we have not defeated the enemy. We've made gains. We've made progress. We've made progress. From 2014, when they used to control so many parts of Nigeria, we made progress. They used to control 7 local governments in Adamawa alone.
We had to postpone election because of them.
Yes. Today they are not controlling any local government in Adamawa. The only place they go is the Madagali area.
Okay.
Yes.
Mobi sometimes, have it?
No, that mobile was a one-off thing. It's Madagali that they just carried out a bomb attack on Mobi Mosque. But Madagali, they go there from time to time. They go
What's
there.
the peculiarity about that Madagali?
It's close to Sambisa, and you know you can also access Goza, all of these areas.
Okay, in Borno
very
State.
close. So it's the same route. So they can move from all around the area. So if the thing is, we do not have enough troops to protect all our communities. So rather than even spend so much money, we want to set up Peace Corps, in my view, increase the number of soldiers, increase the number of police, so that we can at least put them in some of the communities that we've taken. Because right now, those boys are holding on to highways, dangerous highways in Borno State. Once you veer out, you travel like 50 kilometers out of Maiduguri. Maybe you've gone past Mafa, you're on your own. You're on your own.
Okay, Mayor, the attack on Iran is so shocking that the international community, even to the international community. Now, what's your reaction to this latest attack?
It's the same thing. I am surprised because the army gave us impression that they are ready, but it seems they are not. Because of the gains that they've made, I think part of the problem is that maybe they don't have enough soldiers to put on ground. But I feel very scared when you attack army formations. I get very scared. That shows...
It's a statement of intent.
Yes, it shows that Boko Haram is getting stronger again. It seems that the gains that we had is being eroded because, you see, yes, we attacked them, we're able to push them back. Naturally, because the kind of people, the kind of enemies that we're fighting, they will go back, maybe lie low in Chad, in Niger, in Cameroon for some time, reorganize. But for them to attack, you see, when you attack army formation, two things that you are sending. One, the first message is that you are strong enough to take the fight to the enemy.
Sure, for so.
The second one is that you know that you are going to get things from there, ammunitions that you can use to continue to prosecute the war. For them to have enough confidence to do that, and for them to actually succeed is scary.
Okay, now let's listen to this audio message recorded by one of the 3 aid workers kidnapped when the Boko Haram attacked a military barrack in Ran, Borno State. The aid worker managed to send this WhatsApp audio message to her friend before she went missing. The audio in Hausa has been translated.
No, sunana za su tafi da mu. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un.
Please, tell my parents they don't know what I'm going through. Call Fatima so she can tell my parents about my situation. But please, don't tell her now. Please, we are in the barracks now. The insurgents are back. Don't tell anybody now, please. Be quiet first. Even Fatima shouldn't know now. I am scared. If they get to know now, they will be tense.
Boko Haram
are here. Can you hear gunshots?
The primary responsibility of any government is the protection of life and property. And I'm just sure, I just don't know what, as this girl, our audio message, WhatsApp she sent to her friend, what will be going on in her mind wherever she is now. That's if my government cannot protect me, if where I am, because it's a basic responsibility. Babajide, now, I just saw this press release by Femi Adesina this afternoon, and I was like, wow, this can be as a result of the outrage and everything to Mr. President's seeming show of visiting Kano at the expense of this trouble spot. Now, the Mr. President is built to be in Taraba today. I think it's in Taraba as I'm talking to you. Yeah. We'll be going to Ghana, and they've even listed some of those areas. Jide, I will always remember what you say on this program. Jide will always say that Mr. President's decisions and everything, the process is very, very slow. Now, after 73 people have been buried in Benue State, after we've had massacre in Taraba, we've had it in Zamfara State and everything. So somebody is just telling Mr. President, or Mr. President himself is just feeling like, I need to show empathy by visiting these people?
Yeah, it's better late than never, but I would have expected the president to have visited immediately these things happened, because even this president abused Jonathan for not visiting Chibok. So when you are not a president, you can attack someone else about some of the actions that he took that were wrong. You are now president. You've now chosen to do some of those things that he used to do. It means that you didn't learn from him. So and it's unfortunate. Many people had criticized this refusal to visit these places, and the president just kept quiet. Because you can't tell me that going to Nasarawa at that time to inaugurate projects was better than going to see innocent people who were slaughtered. If you look at the pictures forget about the lies that some people have posted that headsmen fought back and then 73 people were killed. The pictures that we saw were pictures largely of children and women. Because some people are career liars. So when something happens, they make up their minds to just put a spin on what has happened. No, children and women, largely the pictures that we saw. So as a president, he should have gone there. As much as people hate Donald Trump and call him all kinds of names, we saw how Donald Trump responded to the attack.
Because that's a system.
That's a system. Must.
So that is the thing. Look, even if it's just the natural thing to do as the commander-in-chief. And Mr. President shouldn't even wait to be told by his staff. All he needs to do is just say, put me in that aircraft, I'm going to so place. If they say, look, Mr. President, that place is not safe, you tell them that, look, I'm the commander-in-chief.
Make it safe.
Give me the security men that I need. I want to go there. That's how presidents give themselves immortality. Not to sit inside Aso Rock and wait, these things are happening, you are refusing to talk. What the president has done, what he has succeeded in doing, is to put to shame some of us who support him. There are places where we can't open our mouths to talk again. You see the way they are abusing us on Twitter, because there are some of his actions can't be defended. That is a fact.
That's a fact.
I'm saying the truth. Some of the actions I can't defend.
Difficult.
Yes. So what do you do? You just must wait that, okay, maybe when the time comes, he will do that. Now that he's going to visit those places, I think I have some. I have a bit of my mojo back. I can say, oh, he's going. At least he's going now.
Okay, I have Yakubu. Yakubu is calling us from Lagos State.
Yeah, thank you, Babajide, and then thank you to you, gentlemen in the studio. Yeah. For me, Babajide, I really thank God we have somebody like you in the studio. And then this program, it will continue to win the award because of the way you analyze the issues. Come to think of it, maybe because of the name that your father gives to you. I really give thanks to your father. Having said that, Babajide, you see,
his name is Babajide. His name is not
participate in this kind of discussion in the journalist hangout. They have already, all of you have done very fantastically well. So having said that, Babajide, you see, for me, as much as I love this president, but the way he handled the issue, maybe the people handling the president, how could you just started to go to places like Kano for the wedding and all that? But the people are slaughtered in Benin and all that places, and then the president failed to go there. I think Mr. President should be able to go. Now, Babajide tell us that he's not going to some places now. You see, when the perpetrators of evil have already done it, but Mr. President to go there immediately. If they tell you that it's not safe, as Babajide rightly said, you are the commander-in-chief of armed force. Tell your military to make sure the place is safe for you to go there to go and
thank you, Yakub.
With these people.
Thank you for your contribution, Yakub. Mayor, let me ask you the same question.
We thank God that Jide has his mojo back. But me, I'm not. Yes, it's better late than...
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's better late than never. But I'm not impressed. You see, because imagine if something happened in Benue or 110 girls were kidnapped in Dapchi. The following day, Mr. President one time met with the families, assured them to say, look, I'm the president of this country. and I'm assuring you that we are going to bring your girls back.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be able to bring some people back from cheaper girls. I promise you, we will bring your girls back. I feel everyone. It will go a long way. The people will have. It will give them that belief that yes, the president have assured me, and I'm convinced that I will get my child back. But you didn't do that. And then the woman or the woman...
Doesn't no address.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Nothing. Then the woman will be somewhere crying or thinking about the child. And then we now hear that you are in one place frolicking with people. That's unfair. So if you go now, as far as I'm concerned, it will not have the kind of effect it should have.
All right, let me quickly take this breather. When we come back, we'll still stay on this topic. It's still Journalist Hangout. Please, we'll be right back after this time out. Stay with us. It's the multiple award-winning Journalist Hangout, and recently our defense correspondent, that Sifon Esen, actually went to Ran. He actually did a story in Ran, and one of the people he spoke to in this interview recently, last year, was actually killed by Boko Haram.
Ran, a Borno State border community with Cameroon, is a shadow of itself. Several attempts in the past by insurgents to capture the community were repelled by security forces. But the outcome of such clashes have left destruction in its trail. The once thriving community now bears the scars of war. Public buildings and other infrastructure are in ruins. Basic amenities are lacking, except for this manual borehole. There are well over 70,000 persons living in this community, which also doubles as a huge IDP camp. Life has been anything but comfortable. The community only recently became accessible to humanitarian workers.
We've been managing with the 6 months because UNICEF has been really good to us and to the community. They've been offering services, they've been offering their helps in providing the roof, the ready-to-use therapeutic food for the malnourished.
But the population outweighs the humanitarian supplies.
Yes, we've observed that this place actually needs more medical attention. Education is one of the key points we need here. If we can educate these people, bringing in education here, I think it will be a very good, development.
As a means of winning the hearts and minds of the people, following the January mistaken bombardment of the IDP location, the Nigerian Air Force joined the humanitarian campaign by providing free medical services to the IDPs in this location.
The initiative of Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadi Baba Abubakar, is to win the hearts and minds of the populace, the local populace here, the IDPs and people who were not displaced. So he's doing this to render medical services to them, to take care of their health challenges. With this, if a mother has a child who is malnourished or has malaria, and you see a doctor coming to treat that person, that woman will go to any extent to make.
That particular Dr. Onyekachi Anthony from UNICEF, that man that was wearing a blue, light blue face cap, was actually killed in this last attack by Boko Haram. So you know the extent on how the situation we are facing in the Northeast, and it's just so pathetic, Jide. Now, nobody can come out to, for me, I've made up my mind. Whether you are a minister or you're a spokesman for any government, you can just come and tell me something is technically. Before we came to the studio, we were talking about the way the military and everything. And last week, you even told me that one commander was actually, you lost another commander in that battle.
We lost the commander of our special forces in Sambisa. As the man leading the push in Sambisa, a lieutenant colonel, was killed. We've lost people to this war. Anybody who takes this war with levity does not know what he's doing. When I say that we have not won the war, sometimes I try to pick my evidence from what even the soldiers are saying. I remember a seminar that the Chief of Army Staff addressed last year. He was saying it. He said it. We have him on record. He said, this is a war that is far from being over. And he also said that the Nigerian Army has lost so many soldiers. We have lost so many soldiers. I personally have lost people in the, as part of the Nigerian fighting force to this war. That's why it's particularly painful to me. And what happened? You know, I always say that, look, if Boko Haram wants to take a location, whether you put soldiers there or not, it doesn't bother them. That's why when people say, oh, they didn't put soldiers in that school, Ayo, if they put soldiers in that school, if they are determined to take those girls away, I'm telling you, Boko Haram, they will go there, see the number of soldiers guarding the place. Maybe you put 20 soldiers or 30 soldiers. They will come with 120. This attack on Ran, witnesses said Boko Haram came with about 120 fighters.
120.
They overwhelmed our soldiers. Overwhelmed the soldiers. They killed soldiers, took away an armored personnel carrier, and then kidnapped women. You can imagine the embarrassment that women who were supposed, in that camp, who are supposed to be under the protection of the military. And then you come in the camp. That was why that girl was saying, oh, we are in the barracks now. You now come and you take them away. So it's extremely terrible what is happening now. And it is because we have kind of relaxed a little bit on the false notion that this war has been won. And we are dealing with a dangerous enemy. And there are two camps, each one trying to outdo the other. So if the Mama and Nur faction goes to pick girls, the Shekau faction will respond to the bombardment of Sambisa by going, looking for other areas where it can kill soldiers. This is what is happening. Until you have secured the country, secured the theater of war, to the point that they can no longer waste our people the way they are wasting our people. Until you have ensured that they can no longer pose a threat to our soldiers the way they continue to pose a threat to our soldiers, attacking bases and taking away weapons, you cannot say that you have defeated the enemy. These same guys went to Difa Prefecture in Niger Republic. They sacked the military base and took away their weapons. So nobody should be surprised where they are getting weapons and why this war has continued. Yes, this is exactly what is happening.
Mayor, should they continue to pay ransom for, you know, these kidnapped girls? Now, we've seen the Chibok, we've seen that, okay, some of our girls, they're back, and we still have
we'll continue to pay ransom. Because that's the only way you can get your girls back. If you make mistakes, and if you don't do the needful, you'll pay for it. That's how it goes. Because these people need funds to run. So apart from attacking bases and getting, imagine when you attack a base, an army base, and you go with personnel carrier. That's a major major thing for them. So, and they know that they need these women.
And the APC will move.
Because they need these women, they need these women. Why they kidnap women mostly is that they need these women to be able to help in cooking in their own camp, to give some to some of their fighters as wives, you know, to collect ransom on some of them. Because they know that you will pay ransom. So we'll continue to pay ransom until we make it difficult for them to kidnap our girls. That is why it's shocking to everybody that, given what happened in Chibok, how on earth will you allow that to happen again?
And we have not secured release of all those ones.
We've not finished.
Still 119 Chibok girls.
Yes, still with them.
All right, I have Aremu calling us from Niger State. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Go ahead with your contribution, please.
This is Aremu.
Okay, Aremu, please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to commend you for the laudable program that you are offering Nigeria.
Thank you, Aremu.
My contribution now is that this war that we are fighting, you remember our president told us that after he assumed the office, that he's going to tell us the sponsors or the Boko Haram. And I want to tell you, if this is not done, we'll just be fighting a war that can never be won. That's my contribution.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your contribution, Aremu. Babajide, I want to put the same question to you. As in, should we continue to pay ransom for these girls? Because you know the damages. Paying this ransom, you know what it has done. Should we continue? But this is like a catch-22 situation now.
Well, I'm not an hypocrite. If I had a daughter, because some of those girls there, some of those girls are young, they are just below like age mate of my son, of my first son. My first son is 14. So if my daughter was there, whatever government intends to do to bring her back, I will support. So, but they say who feels it knows it. There's a family with 3 girls. Child taken away by these bad people.
3 girls.
Can you tell that man that look, to pay ransom is not a good thing? People will say all kinds of things. Even in the West, all they do is they do through a third party. They do it through a third party.
While they will say we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Yes, they will
that's
say
the
they
official
don't negotiate.
soundbites.
Even Israel, as stubborn as the Israelis are, the Israelis are prepared to give 1,000 Palestinian prisoners in exchange for 1 soldier. Sometimes they give living detainees, the Palestinian detainees, in exchange for the remains of an Israeli soldier.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. Just the remains they say, okay, we are releasing these people to you. Release the remains of our soldier that you killed. So you give something,
give that soldier
yes,
proper
because
burial.
you give him proper burial, his people will be happy. It's a bad thing to say, oh, we lost this person in battle and we can't find the corpse. They will negotiate. They will do whatever it takes. Because the other soldiers will feel that the country can go to great lengths for them. That even when they die for their country, that their honor in death will be given to them. So countries, we are not the only ones paying this. I've talked about Cameroonians paying ransom to Boko Haram and all that when they kidnap those clerics from France and those construction workers from Cameroon, from China. That Boko Haram kidnapped. You know, Boko Haram is very active in northern Cameroon. They have cells there. They have cells in N'Djamena. They have cells in Niger Republic.
The flip side of it is that some of these, they are detainees. I mean, some of these, they are leaders that might be released in exchange, and all these, they are bombers.
So we talk about money, but they have their leaders, their bomb makers, and other people in our cells. And as part of the negotiation, they will tell you the prison where that's the colleague of theirs is being kept, and they will say this is the one that we want. That one we want. I remember one of them that was released the other day, even issuing threats. He just came out of prison.
It wasn't.
I thought he would have been
radicalized
or become sober in prison. Oh, not sober at all. He was still issuing threats that he would deal with Nigeria.
Sure.
You know, so it's a catch-69 situation. Let's make it impossible for them to kidnap these girls. That is the only way that we can stop what is happening. If schools are located too far away from the
where you can get
capital or where there is guarantee of security, take them. Relocate those schools.
Yes,
relocate those schools, because now look, that place is not far from Niger Republic, and as I always say, among our neighbors is Niger that I dread the most, because to me it's like a failed state. It's like a failed state, and this same Niger Republic is offering amnesty to Boko Haram, and they have active cells inside Niger Republic. They've been very active in Niger Republic, killing people and all that. So this is an international terrorist group. We should stop seeing it as, oh they are in Maiduguri, they are in this. No, it's beyond Nigeria. Remember the day we brought a Cameroonian journalist here, and he was giving us a long list of Cameroonian soldiers killed by Boko Haram, including a general. You know, we were shocked. He had all their pictures. So we never knew they were that active in that country. So, and to keep those cells active, you need money. You need weapons. You see, how do they get the weapons? They will go to the black market to get weapons, to buy from rebels and all that. It is the money that they see here and
this
there.
ransom.
Yes, that they pay. But I want to pay tribute to the doctor, Onyekachi, who was killed by Boko Haram in this last attack. It's painful that as doctors, they see people suffering. They want to help people suffering. These doctors have saved the lives of so many IDPs. Remember when the issue of malnutrition came out, it was Medicine Sans Frontiers that leaked that information. And they've been saving lives in Borno State.
Volunteers.
And Boko Haram, a bunch of mindless, mad people, will now, someone who has, even when they introduce themselves as United Nations workers, honestly, they still open fire.
Honestly.
So it just shows that whatever it takes, the government must do it to bring this Boko Haram killings to an end. It should not continue.
The international dimension is what Jide has just raised now. You know, we have doctors across the borders, without borders. You have people from aid workers. They want to come to Borno. They want to come to the northeastern part of the country. But in a situation whereby we are dealing with people that there's no rules, no rules of engagement,
then they won't want to come, because normally you are not supposed to attack members of the Red Cross
even in
and
war.
People in war. It is an acceptable norm. But the people that we are dealing with are not. They are not sensible people. They are not sensible people. They are not sensible people, because even what they are fighting, we don't even know what they are fighting for. We don't even know what they want.
That's Dr. Onyekachi.
You understand? Yes. We don't even know what they want. And you see, it's so sad, because when you lose somebody like Dr. Onyekachi, who has made so much sacrifice to leave the comfort, because he can work any other place.
Work anywhere.
Honestly, to leave that comfort, to say, look, I want to help these people that are suffering in this theater of war. And then some senseless people will kill them. It will discourage some other people to want to help. And without these people, it is difficult, because there's a limit. Yes, there's a limit to what the government can do. And it's so sad. It's so sad that a young man like that was killed for no just reason. It's so sad.
Babajide, let me bring you to the politics of this thing now. The states like Benue predominantly have, you know, Christians, state like Plateau, and there's this wrong, whether right or wrong, misrepresentation that because of the herdsmen killing and everything, that if Mr. President had empathized with them on time and everything, so it's like a battle line drawn now between religious, those two religious organizations, the Christians and the Muslims, and some are saying, oh, whether you like it or not, Mr. President has shown a kind of compassion or a kind of bias towards the herdsmen. The handlers of Mr. President, the signals we've been sending, because yes, if Mr. President goes to Benue tomorrow, I don't know, maybe the people can embrace that, okay, we really feel what you are going through. How will he convince people in Benue State right now?
It's, that's a difficult question to answer, but I'm sure that the people will be willing to receive him. He's their president. And they didn't see him join the people who came to kill people. So you cannot say that he supported the killings. Thanks. And he has told the security agencies to fish out the killers. And in recent times, we are seeing signs that some of those
making some arrests.
Yes, have been arrested. Even young herdsmen that were destroying crops and all that, they were arrested. So that's the instruction that Mr. President gave. He cannot be president of a country and then encourage the killing of people who voted for him, because he won the election in Benue.
Honestly,
Jonathan didn't win.
He won last.
So
well.
Those people who are saying that Mr. President is biased, is supporting herdsmen, they don't know what they are saying, because I do not see that sign. The only thing, they will say, during IPOP, the way it descended on IPOP and all that. Security men on ground in those places, they don't need the president to tell them to do the right thing. They don't need. And if they are talking about that, there was a time, when, I think 2 years ago, when we had the Agatu killings. The president sent troops, and the killing stopped. The only thing is that he delayed. His reaction to this one was slow. But if people do a tie back, they will remember that his reaction even to Agatu killings was also slow. So it is in the nature of this president to be slow in responding to matters like this. But I cannot say that he hates other people, he hates Christians, or that he hates people from the to be fair, it will be thoroughly unfair to tag him by that. I'm confident that the president wants criminals, whatever they call them, to be arrested, whether they are headsmen or they are not. Remember, even when we interviewed the vice president on this program, the vice president also said that the president has given an instruction that arrest these people wherever you can find them. If you see any headsman carrying gun, arrest him. So it is our people should carry out the instruction that the president has given. And if you are a security man, you are in a place you believe that it is right to arrest someone who is killing other people, you don't need Buhari to tell you before you do your job. Do your job. That's what you are paid to do. So I think the people, you will get a good reception there. I'm confident that we will get a good reception. But he should learn a lesson from that. Subsequent attacks, he should not wait until eternity before he now schedules a long list of places to go. No, that is not the way to go.
Mayor. Yeah, I want to agree with Jide that I don't think the president supports herdsmen. There's no reason for him to do that. As far as I'm concerned, herdsmen are criminals, and it's just that it's
not herdsmen are criminals, as in this
violent herdsmen.
Violent herdsmen.
No, this because we have some of them that I'm not talking about violent herdsmen. I'm talking about the herdsmen that are attacking people. As far as I'm concerned, those herdsmen are criminals, so we should treat them as such. I don't think the president. The only problem that I have with the president is that I don't know. They say it's his style. I don't agree with that style. It's too slow to act, and it should speed up the process of decision making.
Jide, before we go, just looking at the number of people that we've lost and the how government can. Some people are saying, how can government compensate these people and people that have even lost their crops and lost their buildings and everything? Because in the next 20, 30 years, this life might not be the way it used to be before.
You mean for Boko Haram victims? Or
yes. This not in the northeast. Yes. Those people that have been.
That's why the Northeast Development Corporation is a good idea in my view, because the rebuilding will take up to 40 years. Yeah. And with Nigeria as a country cannot finance the rebuilding. The international community has to support us in the rebuilding process. You see entire communities, no roof, totally destroyed. How much money are you going to spend? When I went to government federal government college, Buniyadi, not one roof. You know FGC, where they used to build them. So many buildings, but not one had a roof. They destroyed everywhere. Extremely destructive people. I don't know the kind of people who join Boko Haram. They are the worst of human beings on earth. Extremely destructive. If you see some communities, you see even PACN installations. They are already mangled by these fellows. You see base stations destroyed so that people can't communicate. I mean,
too bad. I want to thank you, Mayor Akinpelu, for being my guest today. Thank you so much for your lovely contribution. And Babajide Kolade Otoju, thank you, and say congratulations. Giving the most articulate political analyst for the year 2017. Congratulations one more time, Babajide Kolade Otoju. And that's our package today. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight at 11. You can also watch Journalist Hangouts on our platforms showing on the screen. And you can catch us on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangouts at tvcnews.tv. I am Ayodele Ozubagun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.